Hello there! What do you think of our turtle here? She's been made with air dry clay and been given a faux bronze patinaed look. If you do like her, then keep watching and see how she came together. If you'd like to give this project a go, I've listed all the materials in the description, or you can find them on the Mont website along with a 5-view reference of the turtle. Like most sculptures, they all start with a concept, and I like to concept by drawing up a couple of elevations so I know how the sculpture is going to look. Now, I've always loved turtles, and if you've been a follower of our channel, you might remember this turtle painting that we did in water mixable oils around 2014 or sometime like that. And recently we created this little guy, which is a trinket dish that we like to call Yertle the Turtle, and this was created out of air dry clay and painted too. He's really cute. So when I was thinking about my next project, a realistic turtle breaking the surface of the water sounded like a great idea. So with the concept settled, we can start with the base. And I'm going to use an easy clean palette, and for a support I'm going to use a gesso brush. For clay, we're going to use some air dry modelling clay, and this is in the terracotta. So we'll start with the base, so let's get that created. I've drawn up a quick guide for the base. This second sketch feels fairly close to what the final size will be, and I can use it to figure out the angle the brush needs to sit on. Mont air dry clay comes in white, grey and granite. And I usually go for white, but I thought I'd mix it up and use terracotta this time. If you are a clay sculptor, what's your go-to clay? I realised I need to reinforce the brush, so I'm wrapping some extra clay around the base and bringing it up as far as I can. I'll fully encapsulate the brush and extend it. That'll give me something solid to build the turtle's head onto. Then I'm smoothing the top, checking for any air pockets as I go. Air dry clay can crack, but it's pretty easy to patch later. Really take your time to join the slabs of clay as well as you can, as these seams are usually where the cracks will form. Skewers are going in now just to give the base a little bit more reinforcement. Alright, so to create our waves, we first use a loop tool. There's one here, and here this is called a ribbon loop tool. So these are great for cleanly gouging out, and then we can remodel them. We want all of these lines radiating out from the turtle, so I'm starting in the corners and carving little trenches into the surface with my loop tool. So for any offcuts, I like to put them in a snap lock bag and then put them in an airtight container, just so I can use it for other projects. Once all the grooves are in, I'm just using some water to smooth them out. I'm just alternating between my fingers and a filbert brush. If you like this project, we've got lots more on our website. Jump online and check out our Create blog and sign up with Creative Connection to get lessons, inspo, tips and more sent directly to your inbox. Staying inspired doesn't have to cost a cent. I want to trim the whole thing down to size, so I'll do that now and smooth off the edges. Stay inspired and don't miss a video from us. Subscribe and leave a comment below with what you'd like us to create next. We love hearing from you. Okay, well, I'm really happy with how the water's come up, and I don't want to go any further. So I think I'm going to let this dry. Now that'll take a couple of days. Then we can come back, and if there's any cracks, we can fix them, and then we can start the fun part, the actual sculpting of our turtle's head. Hello there again. Well, it's been about 4 days, and our base is now dry, and it has formed a couple of little cracks in it. Now this is very normal for clay to crack as it's drying, because you can see how it's shrunk back here. And it's just like a riverbed when the water leaves the actual clay. But the good news is it's really easy to fix and it won't crack again once it's fully dry. So let's repair this crack and we can start the fun part of modelling our turtle's head. This is pretty easy to fix. You just dampen that in there. Then we get some fresh clay and kind of press it into the grooves like that. Don't use too much. This is the first step of it. And the more clay you use, obviously, the more it's likely to crack. And then you can just smooth that clay in. Although, because this is dry, we'll just give it a little bit of moisture just so the clay can stick to it. The clay will bond to this dry clay though. It bonds to itself quite well because it kind of reconstitutes the clay a little bit. To make my life a little bit easier, I'm just gonna lift the model up onto the banding wheel here. You want your clay nice and soft for this stage. And if you're pressing too hard down, just support it. Remember, it's still only clay and a paintbrush in there. You can see his neck starting to form already. Little ancient creature he is. Then I can move on to the shell. I'm starting with a rounded disc of clay over the turtle's back and just building and refining until the shape and the proportions feel right. So you'll see me adding clay, taking some away, smoothing it out and repeating that a few times. I'm stepping away for the turtle for a bit of lunch, and to stop it drying out, I just give it a quick spray and wrap it up to keep it workable. This is a handy little trick if you're ever working on a longer clay project. Time for some more details. Eyes are always a bit of a challenge, but I like to keep a reference image close by and go shape by shape. In this case, I'm aiming for a well-defined eye and the 3 eyelids around it. I carve out both ends of the eye to give the eyeball more of a rounded look. There's always a bit of fluffing around when it comes to eyes, but it's worth taking the time to get them right. I've added the nose here, then moved on to the detail around the eyes. I can feel the clay starting to dry out. It's hitting that leather stage, which makes those fine details a little more difficult. It's a good stage for some things, but like most clay work, it's all about the timing of how the material dries. A pin tool works great for the fine details around the eyes and the rest of the scale pattern over the head. I'm happy with how the pattern's coming together, so now I'll start on the shell pattern. Have you created one of our projects? Make sure you send us a photo. We love seeing your creations. I'm really liking how she's looking now. I just want to redefine this wave section, create a clearer break between the shell and the water. I'll do that by adding a rolled strip of clay and shaping it to match the other ripples. And that's it for the sculpting, I think. Well, I don't want to take this any further. I'm really happy how it turned out. And I really love it when an artwork that you perceive in your mind works out better than you expected. If I take it any further, I'll overcook it, so I'm just going to let it dry naturally. Well, the turtle looks nice and dry, and we can begin the final stage, which is creating the faux bronze patina look. Now, before we add any paint, we need to seal the turtle, and a really good sealer is Mont craft glue and water in equal proportions. And the reason we seal our clay is it provides a really hard plastic coat that absorbs into the clay and provides a really great base for acrylic paint. So let's get that made up and on our turtle. I like making this mix with 1 part glue to 1 part water. Mixed well, stirred not shaken. It helps to seal the surface and covers any micro cracks, so definitely give it a go next time you're working with clay. And then we just let it dry. Okay, well that base coat is nice and dry now, and we can add our colour. First thing we need to do is create a dark green, lay that down first, let it dry, and then we can build up the bronze colour on top by dry brushing. So let's get this first dark tone mixed up. Okay, so the first coat I'm going to use lamp black, Chinese white, hooker's green and yellow ochre. It's going to be a funny colour, but it's sort of like a grey green, which is how bronze gets after a while. You've got to make sure you get it in all the nooks and crannies. Well, the green underpainting is done now, so we can put on the top coat, which in this case is a mixture of gold and bronze metallic acrylic paint, and we're going to dry brush it over. So mix these in equal proportions. I find that is the best looking bronze that you'll get over a green like this. If you ever give dry brushing a go, just make sure you wipe off as much paint as you can and take your time building up the layers slowly. That's what gives you the best effect. You know, I'm going to call that finished because I don't want to overcook it. I've really enjoyed creating this project and I hope that you've enjoyed watching it. If you have enjoyed watching it, leave a comment in the comment section and tell us where you're watching from. Stay tuned because we've got lots of great projects in the pipeline, and above all else, remember to keep on creating.